Hi there everyone, this is CV. Welcome to my channel. It's called Primate Evolved. It's based on a site I have, also called Primate Evolved, but with the .com at the end, so primateevolved.com, and features a blog series called Couch Talk with CV. So this channel will be will contain the video versions of those blogs. I may also expand this out into interviews and possibly some other topics I may explore down in the future. But to start, I'm featuring or starting with this blog series. I'll give you a little bit of background about it. So again, my name is CV, and this is my couch, hence the name Couch Talk with CV. But also the couch is a good symbol of something we can all relate to this. Most people probably own a couch, no matter where you are in the world. Most people do. And also, a lot of conversation happens right here on the couch. It could be lighter conversations, heavier ones, and everything between. Sometimes people meet up for a cup of coffee somewhere, a coffee shop, and chat, connect, and so forth. But I thought the couch here is, again, a good symbol of conversation, and that a lot of conversations, especially a lot of heavy ones, tend to happen, seems, on a couch or a couch setting. And so hopefully this will also be a bit kind of relaxing as we dive into some pretty heavy topics. Also, to give you a little background about me, I have a 20 plus year background in psychology, evolutionary biology, some neurochemistry, and also comparative religion and philosophy. What all that means is clearly I have an interest in a lot of deep, heavy subjects, and I write about them often here, mostly, of course, on my blog site, and sometimes across other areas of social media. But of course, the other purpose of having this channel is to invite you to discuss these topics. You're also welcome to do that at my blog site, again, primateevolved.com, or here on the channel. And of course, greatly appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to leave comments. The only thing I ask, though, is in leaving a comment, especially with some of the topics involved, that we try to keep the conversation as civil as possible, even if it possibly gets heated at times. Arguments, debates do happen. But all I ask is that we keep the conversations, again, as civil as possible and have a good exchange of ideas. Of course, out on social media right now, there are no shortage of debates and heated arguments and vitriol and insults being thrown back and forth at each other and so forth. So I'm hoping with this channel that we can find a good sort of happy medium in talking about tough subjects and seeing if we can come together on how to resolve them, which segues in today's topic, which is called the hate-filled battle of ideas. Where are we going with this? Or have we become too entitled and polarized to care? So with that, let's get started. So, you're on Facebook. Social media is a staple in your life. Like eating, sleeping, taking a shower, and all the routines in your life. Social media is now one of them. You have many friends on your list. I'll keep in mind, though, that I use the term friends quite loosely, at least in the social media sense. And you see that many of your friends mostly post or share one of the following: selfies or just random videos, and also memes. Memes galore, as a matter of fact. We're all hooked on memes. Funny memes, inspirational memes, religious memes, political memes, raunchy memes. There's clearly no shortage of meme topics, not to mention that the more provocative memes are sure to make some of your friends go into blood-boiling conniption fits, as we see sometimes, again, with the exchanges and arguments on social media. Sadly, just as divorce rate has rocketed within the past generation or so, so have broken friendships and And what is the growing reason why friendships are also are being torn apart now? Fights on social media. Seems that's the getting to the number one reason right now, and we were all guilty of that. I personally don't have an issue with passionate debates as long as all people involved know how to discuss topics as reasonable, critical thinking oriented adults. Consider all the vitriol that thousands upon thousands of people spew out on Facebook, and especially like sites like Twitter every day. We are apparently far from the goal of productive discourse. Moreover, it's a bit ironic considering there's also no shortage of memes and soapboxing about avoiding drama. In other words, we are creating drama to fight drama. So, for example, why are so many people here in the US so full of rage? Why are we so vitriolic toward each other? It's as I heard an acquaintance recently explain. We talk to our friends on social media as if we actually know them. When we really don't know much about them at all, besides how we judge them according to their social media posts. And sometimes our judgment is quite accurate. Many people who are hateful, bigoted, narrow-minded jerks often make that pretty obvious to the rest of the world. And sometimes those people should be blocked from your friends list for being a pretty toxic mess to society. But then there's the rest of the population, a whole lot of people who have opposing views, but many may not have the proper education in critical thinking, constructive debate. That is not to look down on those people. In fact, one of my recent articles called Why Facts Matter, I go into more detail about the overall lack of critical thinking education in our country, sadly. It has improved some in recent years, partly due to the mass amount of fact-checking we can more easily do right at our fingertips. People who are generally more resourceful, who are more inquisitive, who are generally not highly agreeable or a pushover, tend to do their homework more thoroughly and sincerely care about facts. However, and as also I mentioned in my Why Facts Matter article, people often put their feelings before facts, which then leads to the more emotionally inclined individuals vomiting hate speech left and right. So here's a serious experiment to conduct. In a single day, count how many people post a comment or a meme that tells either right to the point or in so many words other people to go F off. I don't have a big issue with that word per se. It has good, effective utility in some circumstances. But when it turns into every other person telling every other person to go F themselves all day, every day, we have a tremendously seriously problem in our hands. Western society was supposed to be a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. We have values that put us in a prime position to be role models for the rest of the world. We've even garnered some respect for it when we are perfectly in our element and reflecting our core values as thoughtful human beings. Then we managed to find a way to shoot cannonball-size holes into our progress. I believe it was Oscar from the show The Office, the American version of The Office, who once said an episode, I believe it was about whether Hilary Swank was hot or not. Kind of funny episode. He said that, I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but the problem with debates is people get even more entrenched in their views than when they started the debate. We see this all throughout social media. Just watch, for example, anti-Trump supporters versus Trump supporters go at it. There's practically no room on either side to consider each other's argument. That's also because people are easily prone to tribalism and becoming ideologues. Then the ideology spread with a vengeance. If you post that everyone should be vegan, look out for the, say, hyper alpha meat eaters who grew up, shooting possums for fun with their shotguns, or, they're used to hunting and, being in that environment. And of course, they may come back with, you don't know what you're talking about, and maybe call you even a libtard, right? If there's somebody on the right and they think that you're somebody on the left and deluded, perhaps, in their opinion. And of course, don't forget the string of exclamation points that follow those types of comments. Or if you're, say, a Trump supporter and despite being possibly misguided about the often flood of misinformation that's espoused in various ways and outlets, you make a fair point that, for example, that we hear that China is perhaps cheating on trade deals, right? Say only to have somebody on the left shank you with hateful words like "you're a racist," "you're a racist Nazi supporting amosexual with a small wiener," and that's a real example, by the way. And of course, usually followed by a "go F yourself." But it doesn't stop there. Then you have to factor the dozens, possibly hundreds, possibly thousands of people who will read your comments, get fired up at their own rage, post their own hate comments, thereby creating a domino effect of treating each other like complete garbage. Meanwhile, many of those same hate-filled people are super hypocritically posting feel-good memes about how we need to stop and smell the roses and be a force for good. So in other words, it's going to be one or the other. I've heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Here is an addition to that. Insanity is letting ourselves turn into hideous Jekyll and Hyde characters who let our dark side speak just as loudly as our positive side. I partly blame our ever-growing, what I call entitlement culture, which has viciously infected every area of discourse and all forms of relationships. We focus much more on our rights and privileges than how we can responsibly tend to each other's needs, concerns, and views. It's as if most people on social media spend all day screaming me, 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 me inside their heads, and then the output is what they post on social media. I'm a badass, I'm awesome, I'm a warrior, I will never settle for less than what I deserve, I am done giving it crap, and so on, and so on. Consider then another experiment. Count how many people on your friends list, just in a single day, post or share something to glorify themselves or pat themselves on the back. So are you seeing the problem yet? You cannot possibly keep going on this way. I'm not even talking about the next civil war here in the US, or at least not in the violent sense. However, we are quite substantially butchering each other up so vitriolically. That's not to be apocalyptic either. Rather, it's just highlighting the situation that we, and that's all of us, have created. And it's not good, people. And it's time we change that. Thanks for watching.